Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. In waging its constant battle against crime, the Highway Patrol, like all law enforcement agencies, is sometimes hampered in emergencies by private citizens. One such emergency occurred last November, involving a hold-up man who had attempted the robbery of a country bank. He was known to the police as Ellis Colton, a brutal, cold-blooded killer. There were rewards totaling $10,000 for information leading to his capture, dead or alive.
Colton's car, all right. Take a look down here. Blood.
Well, the bank guard said he thought he got him in the leg.
Right over there, skid marks. Came in here, then cut right back to the highway.
I guess Colton figured we'd only be looking for this car.
Get on the horn. Have a couple of boys check this area right away.
Right. Headquarters is sending out 2 units right away.
Well, we're not having any luck. Any word from the roadblocks?
Haven't seen him.
You know this territory. Where do you think he'd try and go?
Well, that's hard to say. A lot of side roads running off the highway. That'd be the best thing he could do now, take one of the side roads.
Have the word spread to the farmers. They can be a great help, especially for a $10,000 reward.
2110 to headquarters. 2110 to headquarters.
You been in the barn, Edna?
Not since last night. Why?
Somebody knocked over that box of tools on the bench. Found them all over the floor.
Probably the dog. She sometimes goes to sleep in there. Did you look around for her?
No, but I'd better. Wouldn't want her to ruin those new preserves of yours.
Find her?
It's not the dog. Somebody's hiding in the barn.
Hiding?
Must be a tramp. He's hurt. Blood all over the place. Where's my rifle?
It's in the... Oh, John.
Oh, honey, I'm not going to hurt him. Just want to get him out of the place.
Are you sure it's only a tramp?
Well, who else could it be?
On the news a little while ago, there was a bulletin about an attempted bank holdup at Arverne.
So?
A gangster named Colton. He got away. He was wounded in the leg.
It could be the same guy.
They said he's a killer, John. There's a $10,000 reward for him.
$10,000. Boy, he must be public enemy number 1.
Call the highway patrol.
Yeah, you bet. Edna? Are you sure about that reward, the amount, I mean?
The announcer repeated it a couple of times. $10,000.
Sure hate to see that kind of money go to somebody else.
What are you talking about? Oh, no. You're not thinking of trying for that reward yourself.
Why not?
I told you why not. He's a killer. You wouldn't have a chance against him.
Oh, I wouldn't try it alone. I wouldn't even think about it, but if I had some help, like George and Vance, they'd be glad to help for a share. I just hope that guy's still in the barn.
No, John, no. Forget it. Call the patrol. This is their job. They'll know what to do.
Oh, sure. They arrest him, and for that, they collect $10,000.
You'd probably get a share for phoning in the information about him, wouldn't you?
Like what? 50, $100? No, thanks. This guy's in my barn. I'm entitled to first crack at him.
I won't let you. The money isn't worth it.
Isn't it? Even a third of $10,000 is more cash money than we've seen since we got married. I could buy you a lot of things you've been wanting.
I don't want anything that bad. Not when you're going after a man who's a killer.
There's nothing to worry about. With Vance and George, well, we outnumber him 3 to 1. All we do is arrest him and call in the highway patrol. There's nothing to it. While the foolhardy farmers were preparing to break into the barn, Matthews and Officer Larrabee were combing the nearby woods in search of a clue that would lead them to Colton.
Anybody live around here?
There's a farm up the road, John Albin and his wife. A couple of other farms a ways up.
Colton's hiding out here someplace. Let's see if they've seen anything.
How would you guys like to earn $3,000 apiece?
Ah, we're gonna hold up a bank or something?
Yeah, much better. Strictly lawful. You hear about that escape killer over in Auburn this morning?
Colton? Yeah, what about him?
He's hiding in my barn.
You're kidding.
You sure, John?
I saw him. He's hiding in the back and he's wounded.
Hey, they got a reward out for him.
That's what I'm talking about. There's $10,000. Now all we gotta do is capture him, then call in the highway patrol. You guys with me?
Equal shares?
I'm not greedy. $300 is enough for me for 5 minutes work, right, George?
Well, now, wait a minute. Didn't the radio say he killed a man? Now, I've got a family to think about.
Yeah, but he's wounded. He's probably passed out by now. And don't forget, there's 3 of us.
As far as I'm concerned, John, you and I can do the job together. We'll split the reward 50-50.
Now, wait a minute, Vance. I didn't say I wouldn't join in. What's your plan?
To tell the truth, so far I haven't got one.
Well, if we want to keep from getting shot up, we better start thinking about it right now.
Then it's agreed. We all go up to the barn and break right in.
Let's go. It's a highway patrol.
Oh, no.
You two stay and watch the barn. I'll go in the house. Hi, Dennis, come in.
Alvin, this is Alvin. This is Mr. Matthews, Mr. and Mrs. Alvin.
How you doing, Mr. Matthews?
Glad to know you. Sorry to bother you people, but we need a little help. We're looking for a guy named Colton. He robbed a bank this afternoon.
Yeah, we heard the news. You figure he's around here?
I don't know. That's why we're in the area.
Well, Ed and I haven't seen a soul, have we? I've been out in the field working all morning myself.
Mind if we take a look around outside?
Oh, no. Go right ahead.
Okay, thanks. That's your gun?
Yeah, Mr. Matthews. I thought I'd keep it handy since we heard that radio broadcast.
Do me a favor. Don't mess with Colton.
You can depend on that. Loaded. These are neighbors of mine, Mr. Matthews. That's Vance Wells and George Bailey. What are you fellas doing around here?
Well, John here.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Matthews, we heard this Colton fella was loose. Well, Ed and I got a little nervous, so I asked Vance and George to help me look around.
I see. You got a gun, too?
Figured we'd best be prepared.
Look, this Colton guy, don't play around with him. He's killed 3 people. He wouldn't think anything about killing you. You checked the barn?
There's no sense in looking in there. We checked it already, right, fellas?
Yeah, we checked every inch of it, Mr. Matthews.
Remember what I said. And forget about the guns. Put them away.
You bet.
Let's go. Tell me, what do you know about these people?
Known them for years. Hard-working, law-abiding.
Yeah, they acted kind of funny. How'd they strike you?
Yeah, they did. They're probably all scared about the possibility of Colton being in the area.
I want to check this area some more. Come on, let's start moving.
They're driving away. Nice work, John.
We finally got him to ourselves.
Come on, let's get him.
You better wait. They might be looking around. Yeah, I forgot my gun. Now, you stand guard here till I get back.
I wish the patrol had found him.
What, lose our reward? Now, wipe that worried look off your face, Georgie. This is going to be like taking candy from a baby.
More blood in the floorboard. It's Colton's second car, all right.
Looks as if we finally got lucky. I'll call for help. We'll cut off this whole area. With a bad leg, he's not going to get far here.
Yeah, you know, you're right. Okay, go ahead. I'll take a look around.
Right.
I meant every word of it, John. If you go through with
I can't
it...
back out now, Edna. You'll see. Nothing's going to happen. We'll have him out of there and tied up in 1 minute flat. They're waiting for me.
You finally ready?
Yeah?
Now, the way I figure it, we gotta rush him. Now, George, you come from the left. John, you come from the right. I'll head straight for the door and we'll meet there.
Well, that'll put us out in the open. He can take a pot shot at any one of us.
I figure he's passed out by now.
And maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's watching us right now, ready to blast away.
That's a chance we gotta take. I think John's right. Now, if you're chicken, George, get out of here. Clear out and go home.
All right, let's go.
Watch the board!
Find anything?
No, not a thing. Had he been in the woods, he'd have left a trail. I didn't find anything.
We've got 6 units on the way. Colton can't be far.
Yeah, well, that figures. Cut out around in here someplace. It's the Albin farm right over there. I'm going over and check. You wait for the boys. Spread them out, huh?
Right.
This isn't enough. We've got to call the doctor.
It's not that bad. I'll be okay.
I'm going to call the patrol.
No. We'll still get him.
How? He'll kill all of us.
No, he won't. I'll burn the barn down if I have to. That guy Matthews. Here, cover the table. Oh, Mr. Matthews.
Everything all right around there?
Sure. Why wouldn't it be?
I've got to tell you something, Mr.
You think he's
Matthews.
around here?
I don't know. What were we going to say, Mrs. Allen?
Oh, she's glad you're back. She's getting a little nervous.
Nervous about what? Go on. What were we going to say?
Just what John said.
The men have started to search the woods.
The woods, huh? We'll join them in a couple of minutes. What happened to the other guy?
Oh, George, he went home.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Just chewing the fat.
Just chewing the fat. Who shot you?
I'm okay.
I'll tell you the truth, Mr. Matthews.
Shut up, Beth.
I won't shut up.
Let her tell it.
Colton's hiding in our barn.
Why didn't you call the police?
It was the reward money. They're afraid they won't collect it if your men capture him.
All right, I'll tell you what I want you to do. See this window? Keep away from it. We'll take it from here. All right, come on, let's go.
No, I'm glad you're here. It looked like Colton was going to come out.
I told you about these guns. Get out of here, will you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll cover you, and then you cover me. All right, Colton, come on out. You haven't got a chance.
I can't come out. I've got a bad leg. I'm back here on the floor.
Throw your gun out.
It's on the floor. I can't reach it. Come in and get me. I surrender. I won't try anything. I swear it. Just get me to a doctor. I've lost a lot of blood.
you take over, huh?
We heard the shooting. Did you get him?
It's Matthews. I'm at the Albin farm. We got Colton. Get an ambulance here right away, will you? Right.
Moffat got us over, Mr. Matthews. Even if you fellas get the reward. The way you walked in that barn, you earned it.
Let me tell you something, mister. No law enforcement officer ever gets a reward. That's in line of duty. That's our job. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Albin, can I tell you one thing? You got yourself $10,000 for the information you gave us. Spend it, huh? Don't give it to these guys. Just spend it. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, if you care to drive, drive with care. This is Bradley Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Christmas time, the holiday season, a time of merry confusion and festive excitement, long shopping lines and short tempers. Stores are crowded, offices close early, highways become congested with drivers on shopping sprees and families traveling to be with friends and relatives. This Christmas, like any Christmas, the Highway Patrol went to extra lengths to curb traffic accidents and prevent holiday tragedies. But unfortunately, all tragedies cannot be prevented with traffic control.
yes, sir. You just drive over to Cottage 8. Most places call them cabins, but we call them cottages. Sounds more dignified and respectable. It's my wife's idea. She's just full of dignified and respectable ideas. It's good for business, too.
Thank you.
Mommy, if we can go see Santa, we be sure he'd get my list.
We'll mail it first thing in the morning, special delivery. He'll be sure to get it in time for Christmas, okay? Now you stop your fretting and go to sleep.
It isn't even dark out.
Well, it will be dark the minute you shut your eyes. You try it. Now you go right to sleep so we can get an early start in the morning, hmm? Because we've got a long drive ahead of us. Good night, dear.
Night, Mom.
Missing juvenile report on line 1, Dan.
Okay, thanks. Matthews, go ahead. So a kid is lost. What about this? Christmas time, they get lost all the time in department stores. What's this? When? What time? All right, I'll tell you what. I'll switch you to communications. You give them a description. We'll send out an APB. Now tell the mother to say exactly where she is. Yeah, we'll be there as soon as we can.
Where is she? Right over there in Cottage 8.
You run this place?
You bet. 14 years in this one spot. Clean, respectable, and dignified. Never a speck of trouble here until now. Oh, it's a terrible thing. Bad for business, too.
You stick around. We might want to talk to you later.
Yes.
Mrs. Spitz?
Yes.
This is Sergeant Corey. I'm Dan Matthews, Highway Patrol.
Come in, please come in. Is there any news about Julie?
No, just a report you sent in. We want some more details. When did you find she was missing?
Oh, this morning about 6 o'clock when the alarm went off. She was sleeping right here in this bed last night, and when I woke up this morning, she was gone. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, I can see her clothes are still here.
Yes, all but her coat and her slippers. Oh, she's just getting over a cold, too.
Mrs. Spitz, where were you headed? On this trip, I mean.
Well, to Silver Shores. My sister lives there. We were going there for Christmas.
And Mr. Spade?
Well, he's at home in town.
For the holidays?
Well, he's been very busy. He's been terribly busy, and he hasn't been able to get away at all this year.
What sort of work does he do?
Well, he's an architect. A very good one. He's working on a large project for the city right now, and, well, he hasn't had much time for anything.
How old is your daughter?
Just 6, 2 months ago.
And her father, he hasn't got time to be with her, not even for Christmas.
Well, Ted's worked a long time for this opportunity, and, well, I'm afraid Julie's used to not having Ted around.
What do you mean used to it? You having trouble in the family, something that might make Julie want to run away from home?
Julie wouldn't run away, Mr. Matthews. I know she wouldn't. She just wouldn't run away.
Corey, call headquarters. Get a couple of lab men out here. Alert all the roadblocks. Get in touch with the sheriff's posse. We'll need them to help cover the countryside.
Okay, Dan.
She can't be too far away, can she, Mr. Matthews?
Well, there's a lot of open country around here, and we don't know what time she disappeared.
But she's so little. A 6-year-old can't cover much ground.
She might have had help.
In a matter of minutes, The area around the motel was checked thoroughly for physical evidence. While the holiday road checks were ordered to examine all cars and hold any suspicious characters, the search party was organized. And with the aid of a sheriff's posse, walkie-talkies, and jeeps, the open terrain was scoured for clues of the missing youngster. All persons in and around the motel were questioned for leads. The manager came up with a big one. He had seen a car parked across the street from the motel for about an hour, between 3 and 4 a.m.
Excuse me. 3240 just checked in. They picked up the girl's father to road check 14 miles south of here.
He's supposed to be working in the city. Which way was he headed?
Toward the city. And his car's the same make and color as the one the manager saw last night.
I'd have him pick him up and take him to headquarters.
Any news yet, Mr. Matthews?
Mrs. Faith, I'd like to ask you a question. Why aren't you traveling with your husband?
Well, I told you, he's working.
Did he have a reason to follow you here?
Follow me? I don't understand. You don't think Ted had anything to do with...
I don't know. Has there been trouble between the two of you? Because I don't think it's right for a woman to leave her husband and take her child away from home on Christmas Eve.
Well, I told you he's been busy. Well, and even if we did have problems, I don't see what they'd have to do with...
It's very important to the case. If you've had trouble, it has a direct bearing on the case. Now, look, Mrs. Faith, lose your pride for a minute. I'm not trying to write a gossip column. I'm trying to find a missing juvenile who happens to be your daughter. So tell me the truth right now.
Well, it's true. Ted and I have been having some difficulties, but we spend so much time away from home at his office or traveling. He just seems to forget he has a family. We thought we'd give ourselves a chance until after the holidays anyway, but it just didn't work out. Yesterday, for instance, he promised he'd be home by noon. Take Julie to see Santa Claus. We've waited for hours, Mr. Matthews. He didn't even call to say he'd be late.
Julie had good reason to run away.
No, Julie wouldn't run away. I know that.
Your husband, do you have any reason to come here and take her?
No. At least I don't think so. Oh, I don't know, Mr. Matthews. I don't know much of anything anyhow.
Dan. One of the men in the field just brought this in. Child's handkerchief.
Where'd he find it?
In a ditch about halfway up that hillside.
Yeah. Mrs. Spade.
Yes?
Did Julie have a handkerchief, or did she carry anything with her?
Yes, she had some with little elephants on them, and she had some others with the merry-go-round design. Why?
Like this?
Yes, that's Julie's. Where'd you find it? Well, it's Julie's.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no, wait a minute. These spots. What are these spots, Mr. Matthews? They look like blood.
We won't know. The lab will have to tell us.
It's blood, isn't it?
One day before Christmas, but no carols were being sung at the Brentwood Motel, for Julie Spaeth was still missing. And so far, only one clue had been found, a child's handkerchief, trimmed with fairy tale decorations and blood. The patrol car took the handkerchief to the crime lab to be analyzed. At Highway Patrol headquarters, the missing girl's father was being held for questioning.
Spade, I'm sorry to have to hold you like this.
So am I. I don't exactly enjoy being kept under guard for no reason at all.
There's a very good reason. Your daughter, Julie, is missing.
Missing? But I thought she was with Laura.
She was late last night or early this morning, but she's gone now.
And you think I had something to do with it, said it?
By the looks of you, I'd say you were up all night. We know that your car was parked between 3 and 4 this morning in front of the Brentwood Motel. Now, this needs some explaining. What do you say we start at the beginning?
Well, I got home about 6 o'clock last night. Found a note from Laura, my wife, telling me she'd taken Julie and gone to her sister's.
What, for a visit?
Not exactly. She was leaving me. We'd been building up to something like that for a long time, but I didn't think she'd do it now with Christmas and everything. First, I was sore. I called her sisters and found out she'd left a short time before and was planning to stop at a motel overnight. So I thought I could catch up with her, find her, make her come back to me, at least make her bring Julie back to me.
How did you find your wife?
I spent the night checking the cars parked at motels along the highway. Finally found her at the Brentwood Motel.
What did you do about it?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. By that time, all the anger was gone out of me, and I felt like an idiot. I was ashamed of myself. Ashamed of the way I'd treated Laura and Julie. I sat there, parked in front of that motel, I don't know how long, trying to get up the courage to go in and ask her to forgive me, take me back. What's the use? I couldn't do it.
What's the matter? You got too much pride?
Maybe. The way it looked to me then, Laura and Julie would be better off without me. It's better having no husband, no father at all, than one that's never around. So I drove around till the sun came up, then I headed for home.
All right, Mr. Spade, let's go.
Matthews, is there any word about it? Hello, Ted.
Hi, Laura. You all right?
Is there any word about that handkerchief, Mr. Matthews? Any word about Julie?
Nothing yet. We're doing everything we can.
What's this all about anyway, Laura? Did Julie run away or what?
I wish I could make some sense out of it, Ted. I can't. All I know is if I hadn't been such a little fool and run away, all of this wouldn't have happened.
You can't blame yourself for that. But I still don't understand how you could even begin to suspect me of kidnapping my own daughter.
You were combing the highways all night looking for your wife. When you found her, you didn't have guts enough to tell her how you felt. You wanted your wife back, but your pride got in the way. You could have even kidnapped your own daughter.
Laura, do you believe that?
No. But I would like to believe what Mr. Matthews just said about you hunting for me, wanting me back again. Is that true, Ted?
Dan. The lab report's in on that handkerchief. It's blood, all right. Dog blood.
Dog blood?
On Julie's handkerchief?
That's right. The lab checked it through twice to be sure.
It's funny. That's all she's been talking about this Christmas. A dog. A real live dog.
Check the dog pound, see if any strays are around. Maybe Julie decided to adopt one.
I'll call him.
Mrs. Faith, Julie see a dog around here last night?
No. The only dog she cared about was the one Santa was going to bring her.
Yeah. I was supposed to take her to see Santa Claus yesterday so she could ask for the dog she wanted.
But you didn't take her?
No. Same old routine. My drawing board became more important than my family.
She had a letter, all about the dog, ready to mail to Santa Claus.
Was it mailed?
No, it's inside on the... It was right here, so she wouldn't forget it this morning. Now it's gone.
She could have gone out early this morning to mail it and gotten lost.
Oh, it didn't have a stamp. Julie knew that.
She could have delivered it herself personally, you know.
Santa Claus?
Now, look. She's 6 years old. She believes in Santa Claus. She wants a dog. What would you do? Corey. How far is Twin Lakes from there?
4 or 5 miles.
All right, get some members of the search party together. I think Santa Claus is our man.
Send?
Get him together, will you?
Mr. Matthews.
What?
Is there anything I can do to help? I feel sort of useless.
You stay here with your wife.
But I feel that I'm to blame for this. If there was something I could do to help find Julie...
You stay right here. By the way, if you see Santa Claus, tell him I'm looking for him.
Unfortunately, Santa Claus was in many places at once on Christmas Eve, but no clue to the whereabouts of Julie Spaeth could be found.
Thanks very much. Merry Christmas. Sergeant Corey, you checked all the Santa Clauses?
Hard to say, Dan. The men are still out rounding them up.
All right, bring a car around. One of these Santas got to be the real thing.
What did you say?
I said bring a car around.
Looking for me?
Aren't you Santa Claus?
Oh, why, sure. Sure I am. How long have you been looking for me, young lady?
A long time. I found this puppy, but I had an awful time finding you. Can you fix his foot for him?
Well, why have you been looking for me?
I had to bring you my letter, didn't I?
Oh.
It hurts.
What?
His foot.
Well, come on, let's go inside. Well, let's sit right here. There's your doggy. Now.
Santa, I'm hungry.
Well, you just wait right here. What's your name, young lady?
Julie.
You like soup, Julie?
Sometimes.
Well, I'll bet you'll like this soup. Yes, sir, this is good soup. Give some to the doggy. Yeah. You know, my mother made that soup.
Thank you. I didn't know you had a mother.
I certainly do. My mother's a sergeant.
A what?
A sergeant. She makes all the soup here at the mission.
It's good.
Now, tell me about your mother.
Julie! Daddy, I didn't know you were here.
Darling, come here.
Well, I guess I better be going. Lots more to do tonight. Lots to do. Lots to do.
Mommy, can't Santa stay with us? His mother's a sergeant.
Oh, of course he can, darling. He can stay with us forever and ever and ever if he wants to.
Now, don't you go running away again, young lady. You stay right here and take care of your mom and daddy.
I won't run away again. again, Santa. Not now, not ever.
Good. Then I guess I can go now.
Hey, wait a minute. How'd all this happen? Who are you anyway?
Who am I? Who am I? Huh.
Bye, Santa.
Oh, yes. Merry Christmas. How'd that sound, huh?
Oh, that was fine. Come on, get in. I'll drive you back to town.
No, thanks. I've got my own means of transportation.
Okay.
The Highway Patrol story next week is a very unusual one. We hope you'll be with us. Until then, remember, it isn't the car that kills, it's the driver. This is Bradley Crawford saying see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. A crime of violence is always a shock. It is like the sudden onslaught of a hurricane or a tornado. One moment, all is peaceful and quiet, and then suddenly nothing is as it was before. But before every violent moment of nature, there is a period of unusual quiet and peace, the lull before the storm. The very nature of a sudden crime of violence makes the police work difficult. There is no real warning, no way of preventing it. It strikes like the violence of nature. Such a crime occurred on the 18th of September.
Highway Patrol. Yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am, I'll get a car right over there, right away. There's a shooting in Masonville. The wife just called. She heard shots, found her husband dead by the front door.
Thanks.
Headquarters at 2232.
There's the second one like this. Second guy shot down without a lead. Why were they shot and who are they?
You think they're both part of the same setup?
Well, there's nothing else to think. One of them was an ex-con. Run this through records, see what you can find out. If it ties in, we got a lead. If we haven't, we got nothing.
It's time, Jerry. He'll be here any minute.
I know it. Honey, don't let him panic you. He talks big, but remember, there's only one thing he can do.
And we'll let him do it. After he's told people, we'll find out who our real friends are.
I'm a few minutes late, but I had a call to make before I came here.
I can save us both a lot of time. I don't have the money.
What's the matter all of a sudden? We agreed on the amount you were to pay me each month. It isn't much.
I can't afford it. Things have been tough. I didn't make any overtime this month.
Look, Singleton, you're an ex-con. Just the three of us know that in this town. And we made a deal. I was to keep my mouth shut, and you were to pay every month on the 18th.
We don't have the money.
You got a good job, Singleton. Nice neighbors, lots of good friends. All that ought to be worth what you're supposed to pay me every month.
I told you I don't make that kind of money. You must have a lot of guys on the hook who won't miss what they pay you.
The more they've got, the more they pay. None of them are exactly happy to see me.
Listen, I'll give it to you straight, Collie. I don't have the money.
I'll give you an hour. I'll be back at 8:30. See that you have the money, Singleton. Every penny. You know, this is a one-way street. I don't just blow the whistle on you if you don't pay off.
Why didn't you tell him, Jerry? Why didn't you tell him that you never intend to pay him again?
I don't know. I lost my nerve. Look, if I tell him, everybody will find out I'll lose my job. We'll have to move again. And he'll follow us. He'll follow us.
Well, tell him when he comes back. We'll tell him together. I'm not afraid, Jerry.
Here. Ties it up into a nice, neat package. The dead man was an ex-con. As far as the records show, he'd gone straight.
Yeah, the same as the other one.
Anything from ballistics?
Well, if there's just one killer for the two men, he's pretty smart. Uses a different gun each time.
Yeah, you could always slip up, you know.
I wonder what's behind it.
Well, we've gone over the records. These two guys never knew each other. As a matter of fact, they never even went to the same prison.
And all they seem to have in common is they both have records.
Yeah, both were going straight, too.
Could it be a revenge killing for a double cross?
No, it's got to be something else. What happened to the family of the first guy?
They just quietly moved away. They were kids.
His wife had nothing to say. She didn't know why her husband was killed.
A report from the Hudson police here says the wife was frightened. They figured she knew something, but she was afraid to talk.
Oh, this doesn't make any sense at all.
They just chalked it up as an underworld killing.
Can't leave it there unless you know why. Get a bulletin out on these killings. Check the other police agencies. See if they got anything along this line, will you? Go on.
Okay.
This is everything in the front closet. Honey, I got a feeling he's not going to let us just walk out. He's got too good a racket shaking down ex-cons like me. He keeps quiet about their records and they pay. They pay.
He waits until you're settled, where you got a good job. No one knows you.
Well, he can't afford to lay off if I don't come through. He's got to teach me a lesson just to keep the others paying.
We'll be out of town before anything can happen.
He's due here now. We're not half packed. It'll be hours.
Whatever happens, just be careful.
Honey, get that in the kitchen. Now, you stay in here. Let me handle him, okay?
Okay, let's have the money, Singleton.
There won't be any money.
Oh, now, I thought you were a smart con, Singleton. Everything I dug up about you showed you were real smart.
Real smart, yeah. So smart, I took a 2 to 10 for armed robbery.
I thought you knew what was best for you. Now, you pay or else.
Or else what, Collie? Look, you tell my boss I'm an ex-con. You tell anybody you feel like.
You think I can just let you walk out?
We're not just walking out.
Marge.
We're going to the police. We're going to tell them what we've been up against.
You know, she's a real nice-looking woman, Singleton. Do you ever figure what could happen to her? Especially if you decide to cross me?
Collie, look, what's the point of showing your muscle? You know what I make. You've collected enough from me. Now, why not give me a break?
I've got a lot of customers just like you, and not one of them has walked out on me yet. I spend too much time setting up each of you guys. You pay. That's it.
But we don't pay.
Jerry, is he dead?
He's dead. He's dead, all right. And that's the end of everything.
Jerry, it was self-defense. You couldn't help what happened.
You think the police are gonna believe me? Now look at the record, and I'm an ex-con. How many people gave me a chance to go straight, huh? How many times do we have to move?
Oh, Jerry, your leg. Sit down. Let me look at it.
I can't. There isn't time. I gotta get out of here.
Jerry, please. Let me go and call the police. Don't run.
Listen, honey, we can't take the chance. You think the police are gonna believe me? No, they'll execute me for murder. Now, we both know that. They're not gonna believe me. They won't believe you. You're my wife.
If you're going, I'm going with you. I won't let you go
I
alone.
want you to stay. Please. There's a little money in the bank. As soon as it's safe, I'll get in touch with you.
Jerry, please, don't run. It can't turn out right, you know it.
I've got to do it.
But Jerry, please.
Look, if you think the cops will believe you, you call them up. You'll find out.
Operator, get me the highway patrol.
Just a moment, ma'am. Mr. Matthews, it's a woman reporting a killing. She's a little on the hysterical side, but she said her husband shot the man in self-defense.
Give me the address. I'll take it. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have a man over there right away. Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Singleton, we'll give your husband every break we can, but we're going to have to pick him up and bring him in. Can we use the phone?
Yes.
Cannon APB.
Jerry didn't fire the gun. It went off in the struggle.
We're going to prove that one way or the other.
Operator, get me Highway Patrol headquarters, please. Hi, this is Ken Williams. Get out an APB on Jerry Singleton. 6'2", 170 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes, wearing dark blue work clothes, maroon jacket. Has a gunshot wound in his lower left leg. Was driving a 53 black four-door sedan. License number Frank Young Union 514. Get out the roadblocks. And we need ballistics and coroner.
How long was this guy blackmailing you?
Almost a year.
Well, why didn't you come to the police?
Do you know how hard it is for a man who served time? Do you know the way people treat us when they found out?
Look, I know it's rough on a guy who serves time, and I know the people just won't give him a break.
We felt we'd rather pay since no one here knew about Jerry.
Quite a list of names. If he was running a shakedown racket, this could be a list of clients.
Jerry's wounded in the leg. He'll need medical attention.
Why didn't you think of that before he ran?
He thought he'd be railroaded for murder.
I know why he's afraid, and I know why he ran.
If he could only get a break. This time he's innocent. That man was shot during the fight for the gun. Jerry never even had his hand on the gun.
He's got a gun now.
Yes, sir?
I need some bandages, some adhesive tape, and some sulfur powder, please.
Oh, you'll need a prescription for the sulfur powder.
Well, what can you give me that doesn't take a prescription?
Oh, you need a prescription for any of the antibiotics. Do you mind telling me what you need it for?
Look, just give me a good antiseptic then, huh? And the other stuff, please.
Say, that's a bad wound. Looks like
Look, we won't need a prescription. Just get the stuff, will you, please? You make it fast?
Wounded Afraid of society and the police, Jerry was running away, a gun in his hand. Now it was up to Matthews to stop him before he used that gun.
I'm sorry I had to use this on you. I didn't intend to, but I had to have it for the leg.
That's okay, mister. I'll give you what you want. Bandages, adhesive. I'm putting in some gauze pairs. You put them on the wound after you sprinkle with the sulfur powder. Help stop the bleeding. You know, a pharmacist is a lot like a doctor. We help anybody who needs help. Me, why, I've gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning, come down here to open the store just because somebody needed medicine. Glad to do it. Like helping you. Glad to do it. No questions. You're just another human being to me.
There's $3 there. Will that be all right?
Oh, you don't need to pay me. You're in trouble. Here, take the stuff and take back the money.
Keep the money. It's yours. I'm in enough trouble as it is. Now, stay put, huh? Till I get outside?
Operator, highway patrol, fast.
Highway patrol. Yes, sir? Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kreider. I'll send a man over to investigate immediately.
All right, let's tighten up this circle. Have the roadblock cars move in a couple of miles.
I think this ties in with the Singleton escape. A druggist in Burton reports a wounded man demanded bandages, adhesive, and sulfur at gunpoint.
Description?
It fits Singleton. I'll get a car out to Burton right away.
Okay.
Burton's right here. This report checks out. He's still inside the roadblock.
Yeah.
Headquarters to 2632. Headquarters to 2632.
Here's the medical examiner's report on Coley. Mrs. Singleton told us the truth. The angle a bullet entered the body, condition of the clothes, and the powder burns indicate Coley was killed by his own gun during the struggle.
Well, from this report, Singleton was a sap to run.
Even worse, to take that gun with him.
You know, I'm glad he gave the druggist that money.
Of course, he's still got the gun.
He had a bad leg, and that's a break. How long do you think he can keep going?
I don't know. We don't know how bad that leg is.
I wish there was some way we could tell him what we know. Well, he's in that circle. One of our men will spot him. Come on, I want to tighten up those roadblocks. Have the roadblocks moved within 2 miles of Burton.
Yes, sir.
He's not going to get far with that game leg. Give me 2 more units. I want him to cover every road in and out of Burton.
I can pull in 3 units. It'll take 3 to 4 minutes to move him in on a search pattern.
I don't get it. We should have spotted him by now.
He must have stopped and pulled off the road somewhere.
Could be holed up someplace.
Well, the way you moved that roadblock in around Burton, there's not much room for him to slip by.
Ken, if you were Singleton, where would you go?
Well, I think I'd head for the Rocky Hills up here to the north. That's pretty rugged country. No houses, no farms, just occasionally used for hunting.
Hills, you might be right. Come on, let's get out there.
Headquarters to 2150. Headquarters to 2150.
2150 by.
2342 just spotted Singleton's car. It's uphill road south of the intersections of highways 14 and 22, about 2 miles from the intersection.
Tell 2342 to hold his position. We're heading there now. 10-4?
10-4. Headquarters to 2342. Headquarters to 2342. Hold position. 10-4.
10-4.
$21.50 to headquarters.
Headquarters by.
Have a car pick up Mrs. Singleton. If Singleton's holed up in those rocks, we might need her help to get him out. 10-4?
10-4.
Looks like he lost a lot of blood.
He sure did. Hey. Could be his tracks right here. Heading up the slope.
Looks like he fell down, too.
He must be in pretty bad shape.
Let's see if we can spot him around here. But let's keep under cover.
You think he'll use that gun?
He figures he's going to the gas chamber, so what do you think? Does that answer your question?
Yeah. He must be in that cluster of rocks right up there.
Let's get back to the car. Mrs. Singleton ought to be here by now.
Did you find Jerry?
Hey, it's up there in those rocks.
Then he's all right?
Yeah, he's all right, but he's a pretty bad shot.
Please, he didn't kill that man. Give him a chance.
The only thing I'm worried about is the chance he's going to give me and my men.
Marge.
Singleton, come on out of there. Your wife's down here. I checked with the medical examiner. Coley's death was an accident.
Sure. Tuck me down into a cell and execute me.
Throw down your gun.
I'm going up. When I'm halfway there, you start talking. Here. Talk to him. Reason with him. If he listens, he'll come down alive. If he doesn't...
Is it true, what you said about the medical examiner?
Yeah, it's true. Tell him that, will you?
Jerry, this is Marge. Please throw the gun away, Jerry. Don't fight them. They told the truth. They won't accuse you of murder. They can prove you didn't kill that man.
Keep talking, kid. Keep talking.
They don't want to kill you, Jerry. They want to help you. They know about your leg, and they'll help you down. Throw away your gun, Jerry, please. Jerry, please. keep firing, they'll have to fire back. Jerry, let me know that you hear, that you understand. If you do, fire 2 shots in the air and drop your gun.
All right, Singleton. Let's have your answer.
Keep talking, Mr. Singleton.
Jerry, please, fire 2 shots in the air and drop your gun.
Everything's all right now. Call up the roadblocks. Tell headquarters to send an ambulance. Pick up that gun, will you, Ken? He's gonna be all right. He just lost a lot of blood.
We were wrong, Jerry. We were wrong about the police.
I wish you'd tell that to a few million other people. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, it isn't what you drive, but how you drive that counts. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. An important function of the Highway Patrol is to maintain the safety of the road, to prevent accidents causing injury or death. But not all the fatalities on the highway are accidents, though they may appear to be. During harvest time, the patrol encountered an accident that started with the driver looking for a hitchhiker.
Thanks. I'm just going to Collinsville. Nothing wrong here. No! No!
instantaneous. Cause of death was an occipital fracture, occurring when the deceased...
How do you spell it, Doc?
O-C-C-I-P-I-T-A-L. Means the back of the head. Occurring when the deceased was...
The back of the head? Maybe I'm filling out the wrong form. Doc, the guy went through the windshield. Forward.
Have you time to check the daily report?
I'll be with you in a minute. You got something hot?
Looks like a murder, only we're supposed to think it was an accident.
All right, let's have it.
Car hit a tree. Victim's head went straight forward into the windshield. But he died from a blow on the back of the head. We reconstructed the accident, and it would have been impossible for the victim to have received such a blow in the crash.
What else?
We figured he was clubbed with something heavy and blunt. Maybe a tire iron. Then propped behind the wheel of the car, which was crashed. About 4.5 miles north of Collinsville.
What's his name?
We don't know.
No driver's license?
Yes, he had one.
John Curtis. It's been erased and rewritten. It's a pretty good job, too. Not quite professional. Let's find out who this guy is. Send his fingerprints to Washington for a make. Ask the lab boys if they can bring this back with the original name and number. Anything else on the body?
Well, just this, an ID card from an insurance company.
Urban Casualty and Life Assurance. In case of injury, notify William Ferguson. RFD Box 43, Gardner's Grove.
Patrolman Garvey thinks the victim might have been a fruit tramp.
Yeah, the highways are crawling with him this time of the year.
Why would anyone want to plant a phony identity on a poor fruit picker?
Maybe someone wanted to lose his own identity, commit suicide, and live to tell about it. And I think the guy that did this homicide's not going to do much telling. Could have murdered him for the usual reasons, revenge, jealousy.
If one of those were the motives, why take the trouble to plant a false identity? It's crazy.
Ever run across a killer who was normal? This could be the motive.
Insurance?
Yeah. The killer might have pulled this trick before, too.
I see what you mean.
I'll tell you what I want you to do. Get me a report on all vehicular fatalities that occurred in the past 12 months that have any similarity to this one.
I'll get the file room on it right away.
I'm going to take a run down to Gardner's Grove. RFD 43. Keep me posted, will you?
No, don't know anybody named John Curtis.
How about William Ferguson?
Afraid I can't help you.
It's funny you'd give this address.
Well, look here. Guess it's about the biggest unofficial post office in the whole state.
How come?
Most folks come here have no permanent homes.
What are they, migrants?
Yep, fruit pickers. They gotta have some place to get their mail.
It's good for your business, too, huh?
Sure, brings them in here. Good for them, good for me. Don't suppose I can remember everybody comes in here for mail.
Do me a favor, will you? Take a look and see if there's anything there for Ferguson.
Nope, nothing here.
I'll tell you what. If he comes in, have him call this number. Tell him I got news for him. If it is news for him.
Hold on, here he is.
Matthews here.
Got a line on the car used in the Curtis killing.
All right, let's have it. Take this down.
DMV ownership, license number 2Y7022, sold 16th of this month by A&B Used Car Company at 10213 Union Avenue, Hartsdale.
That's about 30 miles from here.
What was the buyer's name?
John Curtis.
That figures. Thanks. Let's go to Hartsdale.
The A&B Used Car Company in Hartsdale was checked out. The owner remembered the sale of the 1938 dark blue convertible, but was not able to describe the buyer.
3153.
3153, bye.
3153, what's the 1020 of 2150?
2150, bye.
2150. 2 fatality reports similar to the case you're on in almost every particular.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. I'll 1019 in about 30 minutes. Have the reports ready on my desk when I get there. Tell them to keep digging, will you?
10-4, 2150.
We better find this character and fast.
Another one.
Oh, that makes number 5.
You think it's the insurance angle?
Oh, we'll find out. I'm expecting Mr. Banning from the State Underwriters Association.
By the way, the lab tests on the victim's clothing showed positive evidence of citric acid stains. Now it's confirmed that he was a fruit picker, just like the others.
How are the boys making out in the lab with the driver's license?
It's a slow process restoring erasures, but they expect to have something soon.
Good.
Is Mr. Matthews in?
It's Mr. Banning, Mr. Matthews.
Send him right in. It's Banning.
I'll stay on this.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Banning. Sit down, won't you?
Looks like you hit it right in the button, Mr. Matthews. They all had insurance, all 4 of them.
There's been a 5th one turned up since last time I spoke to you.
They were all migratory workers, and though they were insured by different firms, they seemed to have one very important thing in common.
I'll bet I know what it is. All 4 beneficiaries had the same mailing address.
Right. Same address, different names. But I'll bet my bottom dollar that all 4 of those beneficiaries are one and the same party.
And you'd win your bet. What kind of policies were they?
Life accident. Extra indemnity for death by accident on 3 of the 4. All are what we call open policies. No medical required, no personal appearance necessary.
Oh, I see. Just fill out the questionnaire and send it in with a premium.
That's about it.
Well, let me see if I've got this straight now. Be easy for a guy to take out a policy in a phony name. Then arrange identification papers in that name. We'll say like a driver's license. And his next move is to find a victim, a hitchhiker or a migratory worker. One that would answer the description on the questionnaire. Then he kills him in what he hopes to look like an accident. Plants a fake ID card on him, then sits back and waits for the insurance company to send the check. Is that about it?
It would seem so. Of course, getting away with it is something else again. Strange that he always picks migratory workers for his victims.
Well, a migratory worker has no roots. If he disappears, nobody would care very much. It's different with a guy who works in a store or an office.
This just came off the wire from Washington. He was clean, the Prince or Army. The dead man's name was Ralph Perry. Last known residence was 305 South Scanlon. An address he gave when he applied for veterans benefits a few months ago.
Well, it's a lead. They make the payoff on the Curtis policy yet?
The check to William Ferguson is in the mail.
Good.
Anything else the companies can do to help you?
Yeah, I'd like photostats on the last 4 checks.
I'll see that you get them.
I'm going to pay a visit to South Scanlon Street. Put a stake out in that RFT number.
Yes?
Highway Patrol.
What do you want?
Did you at one time have a Ralph Parry living here?
Ralph? He ain't in any trouble, is he?
When was the last time you saw Parry?
Well, he moved out it was about 3 months ago. Went back on the road when they started the crop picking again.
You haven't seen him since?
Well, he came visiting once a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday.
To see you?
I think he really came to see Carl.
Who's Carl?
His cousin, Carl Seward.
Seward lives here?
In the back room. But he's out right now, working.
Where does he work?
At the packing house. You ain't after Carl for anything, are you? I know he's been awful worried lately.
What's he worried about?
I guess maybe it was the fight that upset his nervous system.
The fight?
Yeah, him and Ralph. First they was a hollering to beat the cars, and then they were knocking each other all over the place. On a Sunday, too.
What was it all about?
It was about some insurance money.
Carl Seward was the first important lead to turn up. As the landlady had said, he was at work at the packing house in an outlying suburb.
You got a guy working here named Carl Seward?
Oh, please, let me go. Let me go.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Please let me go. Oh, I'll never do it again.
Do what?
I mean about the apples.
What apples?
The ones I sold and kept the money for. I don't know what got into me. I'm no crook.
How much money did you get?
$1.85. You gonna take me in?
I'll get back to that. I want to ask you some questions about Ralph Parry.
Ralph?
That's right. I understand you had a big fight with him.
Oh, we were always fighting. You know how it is with kinfolks.
You fought about insurance money. What was that all about?
Oh, Ralph, he wanted to borrow some money. Said he knew where he could get a good deal on a motorcycle. He's crazy about motorcycles. Me, I wouldn't give you nothing for one.
Go on, go on.
Well, I didn't have any money to lend him, so he got sore, that was all.
What about the insurance money?
Oh, well, I got a little life insurance. Not very much. I guess I'm not worth very much. But, well, Ralph, he wanted me to cash it in and lend him the money. I told him nothing doing, because I figure when a guy goes, he should leave something behind, even if it's just a little insurance money.
Ralph kept insisting,
Yeah. Man, did he get mad. I couldn't see out of this eye for a week. But maybe next time I'll get a good shot at him.
There's not going to be a next time, kid. Well, we've had a big day. Chase a killer and wind up catching a guy who's been stealing apples.
Yeah.
It's Matthews.
The lab raised the original name on the driver's license.
Okay, go on, go on.
Henry Willits, the Gardner's Grove address.
Don't tell me. RFD 43, I bet.
That's it.
Okay, we'll take a run out there. Call me if anything breaks, huh? Climb in.
Oh, hello there.
How are you?
Afraid that fella Ferguson ain't shown up yet. Letter here for him, though.
Let me see it, will you?
Yeah. I think it's from an insurance company.
Yeah, it sure is. Put it back in the pigeonhole.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, will you? I want to show you something. See that guy there with the crop duster?
Mm-hmm.
That's Patrolman Peterson. If somebody comes with that letter, you get in trouble. Send for him fast.
Always was one to cooperate with the law.
Hey, tell me, you know a fellow by the name of Henry Willis?
Hank Willis? I sure do, mister. Sooner or later, they always come around asking for Hank.
What does that mean?
He's a bad apple. Bad clean through. Why, a couple of years ago, he almost killed a fella. Straw boss over at Kingsley's Orange Grove.
How come?
They got to arguing, and Hank had this claw hammer in his hand, and, well, you can guess the rest.
Did you hurt him bad?
Sent him to the hospital with a busted shoulder. Might have killed him, only the man sidestepped just in time.
Did the man file a complaint?
Yep. Judge gave him about a year's time. Might have gotten off easier, except this was the second time up for Hank. What'd he do this time?
Maybe too much, maybe nothing. I don't know. You got any idea what part of the state Willis is working in now?
Sure. He's right here. Back behind this store building's an alfalfa field. You go across it a quarter of a mile or so until you come to the grove. You'll find him there.
Thanks.
Be careful, though. Hank Willis is a rough, tough boy.
You Hank Willis?
What am I suspected of this time? Is it $1 million stick-up? Or has some desperate character been pinching nickels off the newsstand?
If you're clean, Willis, you got nothing to worry about.
Look, I know I'm clean, but for an ex-con to try to convince the law, that's another matter altogether.
Tell me, you got a driver's license?
I had one. I lost it.
Did you report it lost?
No, I've been too busy.
Have you got a car?
No, I never had a car. Looks like I'm never going to have one now, the rate I'm going. Unless I just happen to win one in a raffle sometime.
Well, why bother with a driver's license, then?
Well, it was all part of the course. Besides, I want to know if I was good enough to pass the test like the school said I'd be.
Driving school?
Yeah. I never knew how to handle a car before. I never had a chance to learn. So last winter, I was in Capital City, and I had a few extra bucks in my kick.
So you went to driving school? They use good equipment at those schools, don't they? All the latest stuff.
Well, sure. They were all brand new, with all the latest gizmos.
Look, you wouldn't know where you might have lost your license or who might have found it, would you?
No, it must have just slipped out of my wallet.
You think somebody might have stolen it from you?
And leave all the money? Hey, look, why is my driver's license suddenly such a hot subject?
All right, forget it. It's not important. What was the name of the driving school you went to?
The Anderson School of Driving.
Thanks. You better stick around for a few days, Willis. We'll probably want to talk to you again.
Oh, sure, I'll stick around. So if you can't find anybody else to take this fall, there's always good old reliable ex-con Willis you can grab.
Like I said before, if you're clean, you got nothing to worry about. But if you're not, you bought yourself a lot of trouble. Well, call headquarters. Tell them to call the Anderson School of Driving. I want to check on the equipment they use, especially the car that Willis used for lessons. I'll be inside.
Right. 2150 to headquarters.
All right, Mrs. McLean. Goodbye. Find Hank Willis all right?
I found him.
Pretty tough character, eh?
I've met tougher. It's a nice car you got out there. Is it yours?
She will be when she's paid for. Suppose Hank Willis the fellow you're looking for?
I'll know soon enough.
Here you are, Chief. Here's the information on Willis you wanted. Hope it's what you're looking for.
Well, things are starting to make sense.
Time to wrap it up?
No. This tells us exactly the man we want, but it's not evidence. Won't hold up in court.
So we're still with it?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Unless the pressure gets too much for our boy and he makes a break for it or tries to pick up an insurance check. Either way, we got him exactly where we want him.
Think he might?
I don't know. It's hard enough to predict what a normal person will do. You know something? I think they spotted Peterson. That's why they haven't picked up the check. I'm going to pull him off that stakeout.
Anything I can do to help, Mr. Matthews, be very happy to.
Thanks. If anybody comes for that check, let us know right away, will you?
I don't get it. The only thing that info I gave you says is that Willis learned to drive in a car equipped with an automatic shift.
That's right. And the car used in the killings were old ones, all hand shifts.
Well, that means Willis isn't a killer.
That's right.
In the store just now, you said that...
I said what I wanted Hutkins to hear, that's all. We know positively that Hutkins is the only man connected with the 5 murders.
And all that in the store just now is an act, huh?
That's right. Hutkins is our man, and I think he is. He's going to make his move. He's going to try and make us think Willis is the killer. Come on, let's move, Peterson.
Hey, you're closing up a little early, ain't you?
Just going to town to pick up some merchandise.
(2669 to 2150).
2150.
2669. Man answering description of Henry Willis seen getting into Hutkins' car and driving off with Hutkins.
2150 to 2669. What is your 1020?
2669. Northbound on Highway 42, a half-mile north of Hutkins' store.
All right, stay with him. We'll catch up to you. And let's go. There's a man's life at stake. Send all units north of Gardeners Grove Township, south on US 42. Units south of Hutkins store are to proceed north. Intercept a green special sedan 1955, license number 2Z33201. 2 men in it. Use caution. Repeat. Use caution. One of them is a killer. 2150 to 2669. We're approximately 3 minutes behind you. Don't lose them.
2669, 10-4.
He was trying to kill me, to keep me from telling that it was him who came after that insurance company letter.
What's your story?
Well, I go into the store after working, same as I do every night, to buy some cigarettes. He says he's got to drive into town after some goods. Do I want to go along? Maybe taking a movie or something. So I say, okay. We get in the car and we're driving along. After a while, he says he thinks the front wheel is wobbling. So we pull off the road and stop, and I get out to take a look. The next thing I know, he's taking after me with a tire iron. So I fight back. Now you guys showed up.
It was him trying to kill me, to keep me from telling.
You're lying, Hudkins.
You must be crazy.
No, you're crazy. Crazy enough to kill 5 men for their insurance. You were going to make it 6 because you thought with him dead, the investigation would end.
Look here, I don't have to take that from you.
You were going to kill Willis exactly like you killed the others. Plant the letter on him, then go back to your store and make it look like a robbery had been committed. Lady, we're going to call me and say somebody broke in and stole the letter.
That is so. Nobody can provide any of the killings. Nobody. See? Nobody.
We've got enough proof. And this, too. When we check your handwriting against the endorsements on the other checks, we'll cinch it. All right, take them away. Next week's case, handled by the Highway Patrol, is a very exciting one. We hope you'll be with us. Until then, remember, the careless driver isn't driving his car. He's aiming it. This is Broderick Crawford saying see you next week.